Dylan and Rhian go to a farmer's market and buy Joe's dead body. And a twist shakes up the game. Now on Big Brother Cheesecake 2. Hello, I'm Andrew Shevsik. Welcome to Big Brother Cheesecake 2. It's day 43 inside the Big Brother Cheesecake house, and this week Chanel is the head of household, giving the Hufflepuffs their second week of power this season. She nominated Ravenclaw's Dylan and Rhian for eviction, but Rhonda won the golden power of veto. She chose not to use it, which means Dylan and Rhian are this week's final two nominees, one of whom will be evicted tomorrow. And a twist is sure to shake up the game as the house guests are expecting the unexpected. But first, Dylan and Rhian decided to go to a farmer's market and bought Joe's dead body. Joe, as you know, was the dead body from Weekend at Bernie's, but he's been a lot more active this week, even when he was in Montreal. So Dylan and Rhian today, they were supposed to make their final pleas to the house guests, and whether it's because they were positive that they were going to be evicted, positive that they were staying, or cocky, or they just didn't give a shit, they decided not to post anything. I have lots of thoughts on this, believe me, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out how I feel about that. So they were the two dead bodies, and one of these two dead bodies will be evicted tomorrow. Now, that sound means it's time for the next twist in Big Brother Cheesecake. First of all, congratulations, house guests. Today is day 43. Halfway point. You have made it to the halfway point of Big Brother Cheesecake 2. Give yourselves a round of applause. Yay! You made it to day 43. Halfway. In addition, the 8 of you who are not on the block, and whoever survives between Dylan and Rhian, have made it to the jury stage of the game. Which means if you are one of the next 7 people evicted, you will be one of the 7 people voting on who will win Big Brother Cheesecake 2 at the end of the game. But now for the twist. House guests. You were all divided into Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, and Slytherin at the beginning of the game. You were told if one of you wins head of household, your entire house is safe, until the final 5. However, we have reached a point in the game in which there is a possibility that we will have a mathematical situation in which nobody can be nominated for eviction. And this situation, I'll explain it. If a Hufflepuff wins next week, for instance Rob, and the Ravenclaws use their fast forward, that leaves 3 people. The 2 Gryffindors, Joe and Dan, and Rhonda the Slytherin. Let's say Rob nominates Joe and Dan, and Rhonda wins the veto, and Rhonda chooses to save Joe. There's nobody else for Rob to nominate, which means, because of this mathematical possibility, the Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Slytherin house twist is now over. And if you wish, you can nominate somebody from your own house if you win head of household. In addition, to keep it fair, and because this is kind of a good point in the game to do this since we are into the jury phase tomorrow, Ravenclaw, you have made it through 6 weeks without using your fast forward. Next week, for the 3 of you who survive, Ashley, Joanne, and either Rhian or Dylan, your fast forward will become an individual fast forward, which means you can use your fast forward individually to fast forward to the next week. Before anybody shouts bloody murder about this twist being unfair, I can already hear Joe going, "You're fucking unfair, man. You can't just ride the rails and do what you want. By the way, I'm in Montreal. J'aime le tour du monde. C'est très belle. Et le métro a des hommes très magnifiques." There are advantages and disadvantages to this for the Ravenclaws. The advantages are, you now control your own fate. If you want to use the fast forward, it's in your own hands and you don't need to rely on it being a unanimous decision from the house. However, the disadvantage is, just like with the house fast forward, only the first person who claims the fast forward will get to use it. Which means if 2 or 3 of you wish to use it in the same week, the person who privately messages me first will get to claim it. So that's the disadvantage, is now you're again competing with somebody else to use it. And this means for the rest of the house, Ravenclaw can't all be safe, only one of them can be safe, which opens up the possibilities of who to nominate, because you can now nominate from your own house, and at most, only one of Ravenclaw will be safe. Chanel, the fast forward that you won, the Impedimenta individual fast forward, that one, like I said last week, you can use that whenever prior to a nomination ceremony, within like the fast forward window. It doesn't matter if one of the Ravenclaws use it, you can still use it in addition to them. So that's the changes to the game. The house twist is still over, and I don't doubt that you're still going to play with your houses. Like the Gryffindors, the Hufflepuffs, and the Ravenclaws, I'm sure will still work together. Slytherin is one person. So I'm not saying you have to go against each other. I'm just saying you now can nominate from your own house, and the Ravenclaw group fast forward is now an individual fast forward, which only one of you can use per week. Next week is week 7. The fast forward and all of the Snape's Lair potions, which are still in play. That's just Chanel's for now, I believe. Yeah, it's just Chanel's that's active. All of those are in play up to and including the week of the final 6, which is week 10. So there are still 4 weeks left for those 4 people to use their fast forward, and for the remaining potions to be drunk. Okay, now let's get to the rules for the Head of Household competition. It is called... Chanel is outgoing Head of Household. You are not eligible to compete this week. It is called Big Brother Cheesecake Survey. Here's how it works. This is the second of 3 Q&A comms on the Cheesecake Survey you filled in prior to the start of the season. I will list the 20 cheesecakes in pairs, so 10 sets of 2. So for instance, off the top of my head, pineapple upside down cake, cherry. You must decide in each pair whether the second cheesecake, so cherry, ranked higher or lower than pineapple upside down cake. Higher meaning a better average score. Lower meaning a worse score. So if you think cherry was more popular than pineapple upside down, you will vote higher on those 2. If you think it's lower, you rank lower. I will randomly select tomorrow. Once you have until 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to submit your 10 answers, 10 sets of 2. And tomorrow I will randomly be drawing the pairs of cheesecakes. If you get a question right, you stay in the game. If you get it wrong, you are eliminated. And the last player left standing will be the new Head of Household. Okay? It's that simple. With that said, which dead body will be evicted from the Big Brother Cheesecake 2 house? Dylan or Rhian? And who will become the new Head of Household? Find out tomorrow on Big Brother Cheesecake 2. We are just halfway through what has been the best season of Big Brother Cheesecake, and there is so much more drama and excitement to come. I'm so excited to see how it all pans out. In all honesty, I really do think almost everybody has a very good chance of winning the game. At least 7 people can easily win the game, and it's not impossible for the other 2. So, it's going to be a good ending. I'm Andrew Shefsick. Take care, and we leave you as we eavesdrop on the house guest. Good night.